Good evening, good day, my dear friends. Right, for those of you out there, whether you're a beginner or a seasoned player that still can't play anything properly, this lesson should help you because there's a fundamental thing you're doing wrong, okay? And that's what this lesson is all about. I've called this lesson, if you can't say it, you can't play it, all right? So what do I mean by that? Well, I know there's hundreds of you out there, thousands of you. You've learnt all the chords. You've bought your books of tablets here and you've been working through it, and you practice every day, years you practice, and yet you still can't get it right. And there's a real good reason for that. A fundamental reason is because you haven't learned how to play what you're trying to tell your hands to do in your head. And this lesson, I'm going to try and show you what I mean by that, okay? So please stick with it. It takes a little bit of explanation. So if you're one of these people that get bored easy, then it's not the lesson for you. But if you listen to what I'm going to say and just stay with it for a few minutes, and then I'll demonstrate as well, of course I will, then if you're one of those people that can never get anything to sound right, this should help you, all right? So stick with it. Right, so you've all heard the phrase muscle memory, all right? But we don't really, a lot of people don't actually know what that refers to. They think they know, but they don't really know. Muscle memory, of course, is when you do something so many times, whether you're a tennis player or a sport or a golfer or whatever it is, or guitarist, typist, eventually your hands, arms, legs, whatever it happens to, they get used to doing something, and then eventually your subconscious takes over and you just do it without thinking, all right? Like when you first learn to drive a car, you think, how am I going to do this without killing anyone? And yet now we can drive away and think about what you're going to have for your dinner. It's muscle memory. But what happens with guitar players, because they're so keen to start whacking away and get stuck in, what happens is before they get started, they start telling their hands to do something that they're not really sure what it is they're supposed to do. So they're teaching their muscles, their hands and their fingers, to do it the wrong way. And the more often that they do it incorrectly, that'll sink into the subconscious, and before you know where you are, it's really difficult to unpick, what you've already done. So we have to make sure that, whereas muscle memory is a really important thing, and it affects all of us in everyday life, we must make sure that we tell our muscles, in our case our hands and fingers, what to do in the right way. Because if we don't, then we're going to end up with a problem. Okay, so I made a few notes in here. First of all, what we've got to try and do is we've got to make sure that before we play anything, we know what we're going to tell our hands and fingers to do in here. So, for example, if I just pick a couple of simple tunes, all right? You might have heard me going on about these before. Oh, before I start, I want to thank everybody that subscribes to my Patreon platform, because those kind of people are the ones that bring this to you. Now, all this content on the channel is free, as you all know, but Patreon helps me to take time out of my busy teaching schedule in order to put these things together. So thank you everybody on Patreon, and also thank you to those people that donate by clicking the thanks button at the bottom of this vid. If you've got no money, just click the thumbs up. That's fine. Just tell everybody about the channel and circulate it, and subscribe please if you haven't already done so. Right, let's have a look at some examples. All right. So muscle memory. I'm going to pick something pretty straightforward. Let's look at some single note stuff. A song by Roy Orbison, for example. It's quite easy to remember that one, isn't it? Because the rhythm is constant. Ba 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 da da da. See, this is what's going on in a musician's head. Da 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 ba 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 ba. So far so good. You do something like that, you think, I can do that. Maybe you look at something like a little bit more adventurous, like Sweet Child of Mine. Same type of thing. The rhythm is constant. Da 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 da. So it's quite easy to remember. Ba 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 ba. Now that's fine. And when you're playing straight rhythms like that, everything's usually you know, it's pretty good as long as you sort of get your fingers in the right place, you know. But the most important thing, rhythmically, it's quite an easy thing to remember. Your brain can get hold of that and quite simply and tell your fingers and hands what to do over a little bit of time. When you're doing something, for example, which is similar, but the phrasing is slightly different, this is where the problems can begin. So say I was going to play a phrase like, I won't tell you what it is, you'll know probably. Sorry. Now I'm playing the phrasing of that riff in the same way I played Pretty Woman. You know, if I'd have looked at my tablature book, you know, tablature doesn't really tell you about timing. Okay, that's the problem for me with timing. Real music will, but then again, guitarists and stuff, we don't learn real music, you know, unless you play classical guitar for a job as a profession. So, you know, we sort of have to know enough in our head, as the guys that wrote these riffs, because they didn't know how to read music either. Now you're probably thinking, I sort of know that, I think I know it, it sort of rings a bell. What's wrong with that phrase is not the notes. I'm just playing them without punctuation. Think of it like punctuation. That first note lasts longer. That note lasts longer. And of course, you know what it is now when you put the punctuation in, i.e. the note length. Dum, 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 dum. If I was going to count it, which is quite difficult because I'm not used to counting, we learn it by phrases, but I'll try and do it anyway. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... See the way I struggled with that then when I tried to count it, because we don't generally think in numbers when we're playing. We tend to learn our stuff by learning the phrases over and over again. So if I was going to learn Day Tripper, I would be thinking dum da 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 dum da dum da 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 bum da 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 dum da dum da da da. We can slow it all down as long as the gaps between each note are relative. Bum 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 bum. Get the idea what I'm saying? It's important, okay? So if you can't say it, you can't play it, okay? But if you can say it, dum da 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 da. Head first, fingers second. All right. Let's have a look at strumming patterns. Now, flavour of the month at the moment is the great Manchester band called Oasis, and everybody wants to learn how to play one of their most famous songs called Wonderwall. And most people sort of get the chords right, you know. But when they hear it, you know, they sort of, they struggle because, excuse me, let's have a quick swig, they haven't actually listened to it properly. Okay, so they tend to do this. Okay, that's what they tend to do. But really what you've got to do, first of all, let's get the rhythm. That's the main rhythm, so. That in itself is important to know what the main rhythmic things is going on. You look at Noel Gallagher when he's playing it, you'll see his hand. And from that rhythm, he's then going to pull out and or punctuate. Again, it's always think of it like a sentence where the punctuation is between the words. Imagine that you've got a sentence and there's no gaps between the words. All the letters are there. It doesn't make any sense, does it? Only when you punctuate does it make sense. So similarly, we have to punctuate our playing. So with this, dum dum ba dum bum ba dum bum ba 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 ba. I'm making a fool of myself here, I know. Dum dum da ga dum dum ga dum dum da ga 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 da ga. So when you've got that in your head, dum dum da dum ba dum bum ba da ba dum bum ba 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 da ba bum ba ba dum. And it changes on the offbeat, doesn't it? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 on 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 on 1 and saying it in my head, da 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 da. Because when you're playing it, we're not, we're not thinking numbers, we're thinking phrases. And if we play that often enough, then of course muscle memory will then take over, and it will remember it correctly. All right, because once your muscle memory takes over, when you with all the correct movements, you're laughing. Then you can think, oh, I think I'll learn how to play the song or sing it. Right, so we've done that one. Let's have a look at another one. Let's look at another song that uses the same chord, shall we? Probably somewhere where this is where Noel probably got it from. If I was going to play like, I'll hum it, dum da da dum dum, dang dang dang. So again, this is my basic rhythm. Bum ba da dum bum. Bum, bum, bum. Now this one features some single notes and some strumming as well. You probably get the idea of what it is before I play. Oops. Bum, ba da dum. So in my head I'm going dum da 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 dum, dum dum dum, dum da 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 dum, dum dum dum, dum da 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 dum, da da dum bum, da 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 dum, la da dum bum. See the way I'm singing it in my head, and then I'm telling my hands what to play, okay? And I've got to do it that way. And you'll, like me, you'll hit the wrong note now and again. Don't worry about that. That's part of playing. We all mess up. So we've looked at single note stuff. We looked at a bit of strummy stuff. Finger picking. Again, a lot of you players out there, beginners, people who've been playing for years, they mess up. And there's a track that I do, which is one of my favourite finger picking songs. And it's easy, it's only one chord for the riff. It's an A minor. Okay, and the song is Jolene, Dolly Parton. But a lot of people struggle with the rhythm of it. Okay, now physically it's not hard to play, it's one chord. In fact, it's not even. Most of it's open. So what makes it difficult for people to play? Well, they haven't got the rhythm in their head. When I'm playing it, in my head, I'm thinking dooga dooga da dooga dooga da daga daga dooga dooga da dooga dooga da dooga 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 da. I know it sounds daft, I know, but this is the way musicians think. And once we've got the rhythm going, and we've told our hands what to do for a month, muscle memory will take over, but it'll be correct. Okay, so you've got to make sure that it's in here first. Incidentally, if you want to learn to play any of these songs, look at my site. That one and many of the others I'm doing are on there. Okay, so we've got that one. Another one that's easy, nice simple one. Again, I always teach this to start with when teaching people how to pick. If feeling groovy, bum da da ga da ga da ga da ga da ba da bum ba da ga da. It's a shuffle rhythm. What does that mean? Instead of it being a da 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 da, it's got a da ga da ga da ga da ga bum da da ga da ga da ga da ga da ga da ba 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 ga da ga da ga da ga da ga da bum ba da ga da ga da ga da ga da ba da bum ba da ga da ga da ga da ga da ga da. So when you start playing it, you pin the notes to what you say in your head. Da da ba 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 ba. All right. And once you do that, and you start to train your brain in the right way, then the muscle memory will be correct. Because once you've learned something incorrectly, it's really hard to unpick it. Another one that I like, I'm picking all songs from people I watched it doing the, what was it, the festival the other day. Neil Young, one of his most recent big hits was Harvest Moon. I say recent, it was years ago now, but it was recent in my head. Again, you know, boom, jang, janga, janga, chicka, gang, gadaka, boom, bam, danga, danga, gadaka. So the basic rhythm is bam, bam, ba, bam, ba, 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 gadaka. My hands still move. Da, 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 da. The way the rhythm is plucked from the boom da danga danga da 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 boom da. Hand's still moving. My hand never stops. I'm not going. I'm plucking the melody from the basic rhythm. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and dum da da ga da ga. And I'm just playing louder and punctuating that rhythm with the notes I want to pluck out. You know, in this case, boom, da, ba, 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 da, ba, ba, da, ba, da. And then doing, I'm just, how do I emphasize that with hitting all the other strings? I pull away instead of coming down. But my hand it's still moving from your perspective. Looks like I'm coming all the way down. I'm not. Little things like that. That song again is one of my previous vids. And so it goes on, you know. You know, if I was going to play something like a nice simple one, rhythmically is. Easy to remember. But if I do something similar with trickier chords, different timing, same sort of thing, probably inspired by that song. Bit hard to play on acoustic. Da 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 boom, ba da boom, ba da boom, ba da da boom, ba da boom, da da boom, da da boom, da 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 boom, ba da boom. Changes on the offbeat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. But in our head, get the idea? If you can't say it, you can't play it. And clearly, if you can say it, you can play it. It's not like a game show host, Annie. If you can say it, you can play it. If you can't say it, you can't play it. If you say it, you play it. Right, so there we are. So once again, a little lesson there. Head first, fingers and hands second. I mean, it's obvious in it when you think about it. You know, these guys that play golf, you know, well, there's more to playing golf than, how do you play golf? Well, you get that ball and you whack it and knock it in that hole over there. And if you do that, then you'll get a green jacket and have loads of money. Well, there's a bit more to it than that, isn't there? Right? But that's, that's what people think. They get the thing, the stick with the bobble on the end and hit the ball. I hope that it's just going to go in the hole, but it's more to it than that, okay? And the same with playing any instrument, guitar in particular, because you've got to actually make the sound on these things. Piano, you get the sound made for you. All right, so listen, once again, thank you for those people who've joined me on Patreon. Don't forget there's lots of behind the scenes stuff on there as well. I'm going to be doing something on changing strings this week, because a lot of people struggle just changing strings. So I'll have a look at that. Lots of studio stuff I've been doing recently. And I'm also going to, my last album's just been reissued on CD. So if you want to help the cause and keep everything on this thing free, then go buy something, buy an album, or join Patreon, or send us a donation for some tea and coffee, or just do a thumbs up. That'll do me. Right, I shall see you on Saturday with another fun-packed lesson. Until then, take care of yourselves. Bye-bye for now.